Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Oh, it's Monday. New week. New week. So today is gratitude number 16 on this fine hodgepodge Monday. Lesson number 16 for gratitude. And I'm going to start with some guidance cards first while I wait for people to come on, okay? Wow. All right, I'm going to need to start this over. My energy is so wonky right now. It's so all over the place. It's not even funny. All right. Let's see. I literally don't even know where that card just went. Oh my goodness. Okay then. We're not using that one. There's one. Alright, let's see. One more shuffle and then we're good. And then we'll do these really quick and then we'll get to gratitude lesson number 16. Alright. So let's see. The first two that popped up. Oh, we had this one Friday. Or I think we had, Thursday. Give your wishes, your worries, your burdens, your dreams to the universe. Let it float away from your grip. Good morning, older sibling. Give your wishes, your worries, your burdens, your dreams to the universe. Let it float away from your grip. All right. So if you have stuff going on, if you're freaking out in some weird way or whatever, anxiety's peaking or whatever, give it to the universe or your higher power. Good morning, baby sibling, or, your source. And, allow it to just leave your grip. If you let it leave your grip, chances are it is probably going to work out better for you. I was wondering why I was looking different today. I forgot to change my glasses, but for the show, but that's all right. So, yeah, one more time. Give your wishes, your dreams, your burdens, your worries to the universe. Let it float away from your grip. All right. Start each day with a grateful heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In fact, I'm going to put that one aside because that's going to go with today's gratitude lesson. Go. How many people have let their fears control their life? Find your courage. I have. How many people have let their fears control their life? Just go and do it. Find your courage. Find your courage. I know that's not always easy to do. Like I said, my as you could tell from the earlier card shuffle, my vibe it started out good, but it got all wackadoodle as the morning went along. So just trying to level it out. So the world is lucky to have you. Okay. The world is lucky to have you. A lot of times we don't feel that way. I've been in discussions with a friend who's going through some issues right now, and they said, I'm a pessimist by nature. I don't necessarily believe that we're born pessimistic. I mean, I'm sure it's absolutely possible, but I think a lot of times too, it's conditioning, what people say to us and how sensitive we are to it and how we treat it. I mean, I had a post today about celebrating my birthday twice a year, right? Now that I'm getting older. And I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. And one person who's very pivotal in my life just called me nuts. Like, nuts. But it's like, it's okay. In the past, that would have made me sad. That would have upset me. And then sometimes you just realize people are the way they are, and you can either take what they say to heart, or you can remind yourself that you better than anybody else, and just, laugh at what they have to say and move on. So, looking for validation. Here it is. Go and set yourself free. Travel. Go and set yourself free. And live free. See, live free. These are all beautiful cards that really kind of fit together today. So I'm really dying to know what the other card was that just flew out and disappeared into the nethers. But I'll find it. If I do, I'll post it in the comment and I'll let you know. Apparently it was just not meant to be in the thing today. So anyways, here we are today. Gratitude lesson number 16. Gratitude lesson number 16. I really like this one, and I'm going to repeat this card again. Okay. Start each day with a grateful heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I like that card, and I'll tell you why. Because today's gratitude lesson for today, I changed into my London pen. Today's gratitude lesson for today is, my day begins and ends with gratitude. My day begins and ends with gratitude. Louise Hay. So, very, very well-known author and publisher. If you're in the metaphysical world or you're into self-help stuff, a lot of times you'll have heard of them through Hay House, which was her. She's passed on, but something she started. But you don't have to be in the metaphysical, or spiritual community to know these things, to understand these things, and to really kind of apply them to your life. So I really like this because my day begins and ends with gratitude. Case in point, last Thursday, got some really bad, just kind of had some bad news. And I think I talked about it on Friday during the Oracle reading, but I know not everybody chooses to watch that. But I was in a very bad place for the rest of the day, which was kind of a bummer because I'd just gone to the movies. I saw Thor, super excited when I came home, just totally ramped up, right? It's a Marvel movie. And I absolutely loved it. And then all of a sudden, it's like someone just took a pin to my balloon and popped it. And it was, stuff that can be handled. But at the same time, it's just, all of a sudden you just get inundated with all these feelings. And, I'm not good. I'm still learning. So I'm not going to say I'm not good. I'm still learning how to deal with anxiety. And by that I mean, when I've been battling my depression throughout these years and trying to find the balance for it, I didn't realize how deeply embedded anxiety was. I was that person that says, oh boy, I feel bad for you. It's like, I've never had anxiety. I don't ever want it. Then when I kind of peeled away the layer of depression, got that a little more balanced, and really kind of just grew in acceptance that it is a part of my life, all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, there's this whole untouched territory of anxiety. And so now I'm learning how to deal with that as well. And it's not always helpful because, it's the wrong way to put it. It's not always easy for me to figure out how to do this because, a lot of times we're just used to when, some people, when we have anxiety, we lash out because we're freaking out and we just want someone to tell us what to do. And to be fair and honest to the people that we lash out at, I guess only we can do that. Only we can figure out the decisions and what needs to be done and, what's important and to prioritize certain things. And sometimes I think, for me personally, I'm not sure how everybody else is, but for me personally, sometimes when I feel like something is important to me and other people just don't understand it, and that it upsets me because I feel like I'm not seen. I just go back into this old bad habit of feeling invisible and feeling like, I'm on my own again, even though people are always telling you, well, reach out and, I'm here for you and, I got your back. And then when you reach out, it's like, well, this day doesn't work for me because I have this day doesn't work for me. So you kind of feel alone again when you realize maybe the universe is just trying to tell you to do stuff on your own, or to be patient and know that if it doesn't get handled on a specific day, then maybe it's just not the best day for it to be handled. Sometimes you have to trust the higher power knows better than we do what's best for us, and there's a lot of times where we just I want to get it done. And so you do it hastily without looking up all the information. And then it's kind of like, oh, well, maybe I should have taken a little bit more time to study up on this and to see different, how different things can be. So that being said, with all that had happened on Thursday, when you have this anxiety or you get bad news or, even if you don't have any kind of dinged up mental health, a lot of times you'll notice that when you get emotional about things, you get, it drains you. It drains you physically. And I was so tired come Thursday night, but I knew I couldn't go to sleep. I could not go to sleep until I knew my head was in a good place. And for me, who does have a dinged up mental health, one of the reasons I couldn't do that is because I know if I did, I would have been thinking about it, I would have been worrying about it, I would have been putting it out to the universe, to my higher powers, to my source, as I'm going to sleep. And that is not what you want to put to the universe. You want to put, if you're a person that believes in the law of attraction, you do not want to put bad things out there, because then you're going to wake up to it. So I knew that I had to find a way to get my head straight so that when I was in bed, I wasn't struggling with gratitude, that gratitude was coming from a good place, and then Saturday I got better news. A better, a potential resolution arose, and I had to be patient. I had to wait it out and see what would happen. But a possible and potentially good situation or resolution to the situation arose. And I was given that because I truly believe I stayed in a mindset of gratitude. It was like I was saying a while ago, baby sibling and I will sometimes say to each other, I need to gratitude my attitude. And it can be hard. I mean, like I said, I mentioned I was talking to a friend earlier who's going through some struggles, and the hardest thing in the world to tell somebody is to just have faith and believe and trust in gratitude when they're going through some of the worst shit in their life. Seriously. I mean, that is literally the last thing I wanted to hear when I was going through stuff in my life, when I was going through all these things. But then when you stop and you remove yourself from the situation and you think, well, what would I have said to me? You start to see where this person's coming from. And I'm not going to even focus in on grief on this one, because, grief is a whole nother egg. But, when you're having life issues, just general life issues where it's like, why do I keep making these decisions? Why do I keep putting myself in these situations? When you're having these kind of moments, that's when, you really got to zero in on the gratitude. One of the things I've talked about in the past is, if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, how many times do you just let it spiral into something horrible so that everything that day just feels like complete shit? Right? Oh, this is the worst day I've ever had. I can't believe it. Can't wait to go to sleep and, start over tomorrow because, hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. It might, because you're putting it out there that tomorrow will be a better day, when you should be focusing on how to make this day better. If you can't, then just try to level out. Just say, you know what? Okay, there's nothing I can do to fix this day, but I'm so happy and grateful that tomorrow is a better day. But here's an interesting trick. If you can, I know not every day is going to be perfect. And I know people get tired of having gratitude crammed down their throats. But I'm telling you, there really is, there really is an upside to this. I used to be that person that said, yeah, right, like, oh, yeah, right. But when I started applying it in the morning and at night, I have noticed differences in myself. My life hasn't changed yet. It hasn't just 180'd itself and gotten better, but it's slowly gotten better. Some people can just do it like this and poof, everything just starts coming at them. But I struggle with believing and trusting. But the more I trust myself and the more I believe in myself and the more I believe that I can make good decisions and listen to guidance when I ask for it, the more I realize that I am the one that's in control of my life. I'm the one who unlocks the door so opportunity can knock and, come in, arrive. I'm the one that makes the decisions on whether I'm going to wake up in a bad mood and switch it so it doesn't ruin my whole day, or just let it ride out and just, be miserable all day. So going back to my example, imagine you wake up in the morning, okay? You're like, oh yeah, feeling good. Then maybe you stub your toe. If you have kids, maybe they throw something at you at the last minute. If you're married, maybe they throw something at you. If you live with people or you live with your significant other and they throw shit at you and you're just like, oh my God, I can't handle all this. What's going to happen? Are you going to let it just dissolve your good mood? Or are you going to take a moment, take a deep breath, count to 10 as many times as you need to, and remind yourself that, you know what? I'm not going to let this ruin my day. You know, that doesn't mean it's going to change your day for the better. That doesn't mean it's going to fix everything that everybody needs from you, pulling you in 20 different directions. What it means is that you've just given yourself the opportunity to find clarity in that day, in that moment, and say, you know what? Prioritize. We all have the ability to quickly prioritize. Okay, I'm going to do this, and this. Okay? You have the clarity now to delegate. Well, handle it. You know, to think, what would you do? What do you think I would do? You know, I mean, you got to be careful with that one. But it's all about switching our mindset. And I really do believe that when it says here, my day begins and ends with gratitude, I truly, truly believe that if we wake up in gratitude and we go to sleep in gratitude, that it can make a difference. It can probably improve your sleep because you're not going to bed worrying about 9,000 things, like I do. Which is why on Thursday, when I was talking about, you know, the issues that were arising and stuff I had to take care of, that really kind of just popped my happy balloon after my movie. I thought, you know what, and I did. I stayed up about 3 hours trying to fix my mood, just listening to music. And as I mentioned in the Oracle Friday, that, you know, I kept going and going and going until that one song. And it was funny because that was the only time that one song came up. And it's not a very long playlist on my playlist. It's only about maybe 15 songs. So, you know, I mean, after like 2.5 to 3 hours, you figure this song would have come up. But it didn't until the very end. Then I listened to it like 5 times straight. And I realized, okay. I realized by the third time, I was starting to sing with the song. And I know me, that if I put on music and I can't sing to it, my head is probably not in a good place. But if I put on music and I start finding myself just having that desire to sing with it, I know I'm getting better. So I played it 2 more times and I just kind of reevaluated where my head was at. Because that entire time, I was also gratituding. You know, I even came up with, I'm so happy and grateful that the situation has a resolution in my favor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, and I love that because that's what I needed to do. I had to be conscious enough to not just jump into bed and go to sleep because I was feeling so horrible. I knew I had to fix my mindset and make it better. And come Friday morning, I was gratituding again. And it, you know, it didn't remove the anxiety, but it made it manageable. And then, like I said, because I kept putting good things out into, you know, the world, into the universe, into, you know, my space, that come Saturday when I had that meeting, you know, I got a lot of really good recommendations, and I got a lot of potential ideas for potential resolutions. So, you know, by keeping myself open to that, and by gratituding that, when I went, you know, when I had to go into that short meeting, I was faced with the opportunity to not only be level-headed and to listen, but to not be combative and angry because I didn't like what was happening to begin with. And because of that, you know, the person I was meeting with gave me some very good advice, gave me some, you know, helpful advice, you know, and says, hey, you're not alone. A lot of people are going through all this. So just, you know, it'll be okay. Just go do this, and that, and see what they can do for you. And it's like, okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I mean, how hard is it really for us to just hold gratitude and say thank you, thank you, thank you? I know there's a lot of situations that people are in that are extremely difficult, that are definitely not easy to handle. And I know that gratitude is sometimes the last thing they think of. And like I said, my friend that I was chatting with this morning that's going through some stuff, it was not easy for me to tell them to focus in on gratitude. Because like I said, I've been in I've been in situations not like hers, but similar ones where you just feel like, fuck gratitude. What is it doing for me? Nothing. Gratitude works when you believe in it. You can't just say, I'm so happy and grateful for the sky being blue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because there's no feeling in it. There's nothing. And a lot of people say, well, you should add this, that, and the other. You could literally just flip the vibe, and instead of saying it with pure sarcasm, you say, you know what? I'm so happy and grateful that the sky is blue. And then you start seeing the clouds. You start feeling the warmth of the sun, not in the summer. The warmth of the sun in the summer is just... Anyone who knows me knows that the sun and I have a love-hate relationship in the summer. I'm sure it does with a lot of people, but I think I have a mild allergy to the sun, but definitely heat stroke and sunstroke are not my friends. So, the sun. It likes to pick on us sensitive people. But anyways, so there isn't much more I can add to that. Okay, I mean, I when I do my perspective, it's exactly that. It's a perspective. The show used to be called something different. In fact, Saturday was the 2-year anniversary of when I started this show on July 9th, 2020. In fact, I started it about 2 weeks before I went on vacation, short vacation with my family, a lot of my cousins. So, I wasn't sure where it would go from there. It used to be much shorter. But I wasn't sure where I was going to go from there. There have been times when I've had to cancel it. There have been times when I've wanted to quit because I just felt like it's not reaching anyone. And then there was at one point where the title of the show used to be, somebody I guess was using it as their tagline on their page, which wasn't even called the same thing. But, then they start talking about, well, I'm going to sue you. Why are you trying to step on my thing? This, that, and the other. The sad thing was, it's a metaphysical site. It's a spiritual site. And they didn't even say, did you realize, blah, blah, blah. No, they just jumped right in and were angry and mean and just condescending. And then when you tried to talk to them, say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You're lying. I know you knew. It's like, no, I didn't. It's like, what I do isn't even close to what you do. It's not card readings. Yeah, I do guidance cards in the morning because it's better than people staring at me on a live doing nothing or, moving around. Yeah, here, watch me organize myself as I start. No, it passes the time. But they didn't take the time to look. So then I was forced to change the name. Everyone says I should have fought for it, but I didn't want to because it didn't feel right anymore. I didn't want that hanging over my head. So then we came up with the Aloha perspective. Actually, a friend of mine had suggested it in the comments when I had shared it on Facebook. And they said to me, you know what about like, the Aloha vibe or the Aloha this, that, or the other, or, mahalo something. And I thought mahalo, but that's thank you. And so I thought, ooh, all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I Googled everywhere to see if the Aloha perspective existed. Did not, that I could find. I even searched YouTube. Did not, that I could find. And it came up through this. But that being said, I think it makes more sense because Aloha embodies so many things. Love, hello, goodbye. But it's also compassion. It just, the word really does, embody a lot. And it also, kind of shines a teeny light on my own Hawaiian heritage. Not just because I was born there, but because I actually have bloodline roots in the Hawaiian culture. But it really is my perspective. I share things that I've been through to hopefully help other people either heal their stories or start to heal their stories or start their journeys. We're doing the gratitude lessons, waking up and going to sleep, but it's not always easy to put out there the stuff we go through. But it's talking is a gift of mine. And, just coming up with stuff off the top of my head has always kind of been, I don't know, some strange gift that I have. Even my father's surprised that I can do it. And, I have very, very seldom do I use notes, but I use notes when I have very specific topics because I want to get things right. But when I do self-care Wednesdays, I have notes. When I do the gratitude, I have notes. I just can't come up with this stuff out of my head, right? It's things I read, it's things I see, things I search for. And I'm hoping that I make it to the next year. I would like to keep doing this, even if I have to change the time for some other reason. I do like doing this because I do know that even though I don't have a lot of followers and that I don't have a lot of subscribers on my YouTube channel, I do this because I know there's that one person who will randomly find this and it's going to help, because that's what's happened to me. I have found people who had less subscribers than I do, and I literally do not have that many. I have like 36, I think, on YouTube. And I remembered one of the things I had said, I think it was on Friday, was that don't do things like this for the numbers. Do it because you want to help somebody. Because that's what makes it authentic. That's what makes it real. And that's why I do this. And yeah, sometimes they do get a little rambly, I admit. But for the most part, one of the reasons I wanted to do this gratitude is because I'm learning through it too. When I was IMing with my friend this morning and I was telling them the things I was telling them, it was hard for me to read that and write it, because in a lot of ways I was talking to myself. I thought, what, if somebody had told me that this is the secret, that, the whole, not the secret book, but to me, I gave them a helpful hint. And my helpful hint was this. If you're going to gratitude, sometimes we have to go back to the innocence of a child, when we could make anything happen in our lives. When it's like, you're just sitting there and you're putting a lot of energy behind, oh, I hope this happens, hope this happens, hope this happens. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it happened. And that doesn't always happen. What we put out there may not necessarily be what's meant for us, but something similar will happen. When I thought back to it, I used to think, I hope my family and I have, family movie weekend. And family movie weekend when I was a kid is mom, dad, and I would all pick a movie. And that's all we do all day on that Saturday. We would just go to the movies, and this isn't like now where you have a bazillion theaters in one building. There would be days when we were traveling all over the area, like all over, within like a 25-mile radius of where we lived, to go see these different movies because they were playing, and you had to coordinate, right? Because you had to think of drive time, what time the movie starts, how fast can you get there? And they didn't have reserved seats back then, so you wanted to be there early enough that, you would be able to get a decent seat, and not have to sit on top of the screen. So it really was an adventure. But we also have these things where, we talk about, well, have you ever had these situations where you think of, just bad things are going to happen, and they do? It's because you're putting it out there. You are manifesting. You are manifesting. Because when you worry enough and you put enough of that energy behind something, you are probably going to make it happen. And the stronger and more energy you have, the more likely it is bound to happen, one way or the other. So my suggestion is, when you go through these moments, do your best to flip the narrative. If negativity is not working for you, why not try positivity? I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard. I struggle with it. But one of the things that I had said was that, oh gosh, I don't know if I can find it in here, but I put in here, no. Sorry, I'm looking through because I know it's in here some. I said, here's a hint. When I say creating a better life for yourself, sometimes it starts right in the heart and mind, and you imagining and believing that you deserve better. If someone had told me that it wasn't about the physical work, i.e., job hunting or just adulting, but simply going back to the basics of child thinking, my path might have been easier. But I am sharing. Okay, so that was what I wrote to my friend. So sometimes we have to go back to the basics of being a child when we believe everything is possible, before people start putting their crap on us, before people start saying, this, that, or the other, when, maybe just making you feel like you're lower and lower and lower than you are. Part of the problem that people have with gratitude is that we have to peel away all these layers of doubt of the world is a terrible place, or, people's worries and doubts that are just piled and piled and piled onto us. And it's not necessarily that, they meant it. Sometimes people think they're being funny, and we think it's funny because they think it's funny. But I think about, one of the best examples I can give is, I think about the spiritual gifts I have and how they're getting stronger now. And I think about where I would have been if I hadn't have been told that it was bad when I was younger. If my gifts would have been not just brushed aside, but actually nurtured. Everything I do, it comes from a good place. Whether it's a reading, whether it's the show, whether it's guidance, whatever it is. It's not meant to be some wicked crazy shit. It just comes from a good place. And if people didn't have these judgmental glasses on, they would see that and not try to, wipe it out from, children's memories. Some kids have gifts that they don't want to entertain it. And that's fine. That's their choice, but it's their choice. But if they choose to come back to it, or, some parents will just say, put it on the back burner if it's not something that you're comfortable with, and revisit it later. I see the way my nephews are being raised, and to just lean into their gifts if they choose to. They're given that choice. They're given that opportunity to make that choice for themselves. But it's their choice. And believe it or not, this really all does have to do with gratitude. Because when we keep ourselves in a good place, we're not trying to hold other people down or other people back. And sometimes we do that because we don't want to feel alone. Sometimes we hurt people because we are a hurt people. Right? Hurt people hurt people. So if you're hurting, if you're hurting bad, chances are you might accidentally hurt someone you care about. Because you think you know better. You think that, this, that, and the other. But what's best for you may not be best for somebody else, and it may not even be best for you. Well, sometimes we have to rethink our stance. Sometimes we have to rethink where we're at. So, again, from Louise Hay, my day begins and ends with gratitude. Wake up in gratitude, go to sleep in gratitude. Not fake gratitude, not, I'm so happy and grateful, blah, 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 now can I go to sleep? No, be grateful. If you say prayers at night, be grateful. Instead of saying, okay, I'm just going to use something generic, right? If you say, dear Lord, please bless my family. You know what? Just say it, just do it in gratitude instead. Dear God, thank you for blessing my family. And it really does change your mindset, because now you're not asking. You're being grateful for something that has probably already happened if God is your source, or whoever your source is. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. When somebody does something nice for you, don't just say thanks. It's okay if you say thanks, but say it with some feeling, like thanks. Or the other day when I was leaving my movie, this poor kid got stuck at the door, holding the door open for everybody. Then he sees me coming, and I thought, well, if I slow down, he'll just let the door go. No, this boy was raised differently. He held the door, so I ran towards the door, and I took him, and I said, I got it. And he's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I got it. Thank you. He's like, you're welcome. Then he went off with his dad, and and then he kind of looked back for a second, and because I was looking back towards him, and I told him, I said, you know what, thank you so much again for holding the door, and he just smiled. He's like, you're welcome. Because we take that extra time to notice what somebody's doing. This kid could have let the door go in my face like so many other kids have done in the past, or so many adults have done in the past. Like if you're 5 feet from the door, okay, well, you know what? Here, I'm gonna leave it for you to just handle. But no, I wasn't even near the door, and the kid was holding it for me. And that is a lot of things that I know a lot of us do, where we just hold it. I mean, I even told him to let it go. I said, it's okay, you can let it go. But he's like, nope, I got it. It kind of renewed my faith in the human race, to be honest with you, because this kid couldn't have been more than 10 or 11. Reminds me a lot of my nephews. But this is what I'm talking about. So when we extend that thanks, as opposed to just thanks, but when it feels genuine, people are going to feel it too. And you never know what your tone's going to do for somebody else. I have been a wreck all morning, and I have not been a very nice person for the last hour. So I wasn't even sure how effective this was going to be, because I woke up in a great mood, but my mood slowly started going downhill. And I realize now it was my anxiety, it was my stress of, errands I have to take care of today, which I may not have to because I'm online trying to find answers anyway. So when we calm down, I know I hate when people tell me to calm down too. So when we take a deep breath and we get back into ourselves, and we take a step out. If you are feeling so shitty and so wound up and so anxiety riddled, take a deep breath and take a step back. And when you're taking a step back, imagine that you are stepping out of the situation for a moment. Okay, a lot of people can't just imagine it. So if you have to do this, physically do this, take a step back or two. Okay, and then just maybe envision yourself right in front of you saying, okay, what do I need to do? Do I just need to take a break for a second, take a deep breath? Do I need to take a walk somewhere, maybe do a lap around the house? Whatever it does. And then step back into the situation, but step back in with more clarity, with more, just more of your a calm mind, because that's what's going to get the job done. That's going to bring the good answers to you. And that's exactly what we need to do. Wake up in the morning in gratitude, even if you stub your toe, or if you drop your coffee or spill your coffee, or, there have been times when I've been on my way to work and the cup leaked. Okay, those nice little, our secure cups will never leak on you, leaks on you. All right, and you're like, well, crap, I'm close enough to home. It's like, all right, I'm just going to text work and tell them I'm going to be a little late, because great, I spilled my coffee on myself. And because I'm paranoid, I will literally show them a picture of coffee on me and having to go home. But don't try not to let it ruin your day. Trying to find the humor in the moment. Think of it this way. There was one time specifically where a cup I used over and over and over again, because older sibling would make me coffee, to go. We called it to go coffee for on my way to work. And it leaked that day. And I was wearing pink. I was wearing a pink sweater, and I had to go home and change. And then as I was going and I was leaving the house, because I ran in, got dressed, changed my clothes really quick, was running out of the house, there was an accident right about where I would have been if I hadn't turned around to go home to change. So sometimes whoever's looking after you, or even just the universe, however you want to look at it, it's like my friend Jason always used to remind me in the old days when I'd be like, but I can't, you always come up with 5 million excuses. So like, just remember, Shal, everything happens for a reason. A lot of people don't believe that, but having seen some of the things that have happened and how it's kept me from danger or kept me out of harm's way, it's hard not to believe that. And I'm not telling you have to. Everybody's different. Everybody believes the way they want to believe. But for me, I truly know that everything happens for a reason. So, even my freaking out this morning about shit that could be controlled, right? That could be handled. I actually started finding some answers, which means I may not have to actually go and run some errands that I thought I had to run today, that it can wait for a few days. So, anyways, this is getting all rambly. I do apologize for that. I've been all over the place. I wasn't planning on making it this long. But tomorrow will be a really good gratitude. Sorry, I was just reading it. But just remember today, my day begins and ends with gratitude. Couples are always told, right? When people first get married, one of the things that everybody always says, every time I go to a wedding, I hear this being told to the couple. Don't go to bed mad. Don't go to bed angry. See? Even Shannon says it. My cousin in San Diego. No, it is true 100% true for me as well. There's always a reason. There really is, guys. I think a lot of times we don't want to believe it because this is a personal opinion. But I think for some people, when they want to say everything doesn't happen for a reason, it's because they've either been hurt by things and not seen the growth from it, or it's because they can't control it. And coming from a person who has tried to control things because, you figure if you control it, nothing bad's going to happen, right? Wrong. In fact, I think you actually make it worse. When I go back and think about how much I used to control my life, I realize, whoa, I really wasn't that happy. And then when I finally let go, I went through like this couple of years of just battling everything. It felt like my mind, my space, my everything to get to this balance. But what I realized, I wasn't battling something else. I was battling for myself. I was battling to make my life better. Because there have been times when I said, Jesus, it's like, why did I even bother? It's like, it feels like it's been more work to get here than it was just living my life. But when I look back, was I happy? No. Because I was existing. I wasn't living. See? Perfect. Shannon says it perfectly. She's all same. I had to learn to let go of a lot and just let it be. Oh, by the way, good morning. Sorry. I got so excited about all of her comments, I forgot to tell her good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. So yeah, just however you do it, just try it. Okay. If you're a person that needs a chokehold everything, I get it. She's cute. Aloha to you too. And here's the deal. People are going to say, I'm going through grief. How could you say there's a reason for everything? Like I said, grief is an egg of its own. It really is. I don't like the fact that my mom and Sissy are gone. But I have noticed the changes in me. I have noticed how it forced me into really kind of facing a lot of the things I never wanted to face. Because I always hid behind their strength. I never even realized how much strength I had until they were both gone. And funny enough, older sibling was the one always saying, it's been in there all this time. You just haven't seen it because, for whatever reason. But she's not wrong. And I don't know that was the reason, but whatever it was, I can't change the past. Like I said, when we talk about everything happens for a reason, for some of us, we see it. For other people, it may not be that simple. It may not be that simple. Like I said, grief is a weird egg all its own. And grief isn't just losing somebody, to death. It's losing relationships. It's losing jobs. I grieved for far too long over, being laid off from my job. That was like the worst feeling in the whole world for me. I mean, I literally thought someone had ripped out my heart and stomped all over it. And then I realized I'm better where I'm at now than where I was. I realized that I am exactly where I'm meant to be. I had posted something about my birthday being like 6 months from yesterday. And baby sibling asked me on the side, she's like, how are you feeling about that? And I said, I feel so much better. I told her, I said, I feel so much better about it now because I stopped worrying about where I thought I would be in my life by now. And I started appreciating exactly where I'm at. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Everything happens for a reason. The things we see, the people we meet. And Shannon says the same thing about the work. She's all, yes, I felt the same, but it led me to a better job. That's exactly what it is. It is hard. I'm telling you guys, it is super hard finding a job right now. I mean, there are jobs everywhere, and you know, my resume is pretty much global at this point. But I figure, instead of being angry about that, I'm just going to trust. I'm going to trust now that everything is happening for a reason, okay? I'm saying this and putting it out there for the world to see. I'm just going to trust and believe that everything's happening for a reason. And whatever's meant to happen and whatever's meant to come my way will come my way. Okay? So, remember, begin and end your day with gratitude. Don't go to bed mad. Wake up happy. Okay? Go to bed mad. You're probably still thinking about the same shit you were thinking about when you fell asleep. So, the best way to move through that and past that is to find a way to get your head straight before you go to sleep. Go to sleep with gratitude. Like I said, I know it's not that easy. I spent 2.5 hours trying to get my head straight before I allowed myself to go to bed. And then the next 2 nights, funny enough, I couldn't sleep more than 5 hours, right? Even on the weekend. Isn't that the worst when you like think, oh yeah, no alarms, no nothing. You still wake up like at the time your alarm would normally go off. And you're just like, great. But I was waking up an hour before my alarm would normally go off. But then I thought, you know what? It's okay. Because my head is in a good place. And I made sure that when I opened my eyes, the first thing I said was, today is going to be a great day. Miracle shall follow miracle, and wonders shall never cease. Or, you know, I'm so happy and grateful for another day. For this gift of a new day. All right. So, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I will see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Or I hope to see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Facebook Live under Shelly Marie Lucas. Again, it is public. You don't need to be my friend to watch it. Anybody can watch it. Or you can watch the replay on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. If you follow me on Twitter, you will probably see it floating around in there, okay? And I do post a very short version of this on TikTok, okay? Just a minute. So I literally will give you the highlight of whatever I've talked about on here. All right. So again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Shannon, for your input. Very, very helpful. If you're watching this later or even on YouTube, maybe circle back to Facebook if you have Facebook and read some of the comments, because a lot of times people have really great insight, you know, things that I may not have covered, or just even saying, hey, yeah, you know what? Everything does happen for a reason. So again, have a great, great day, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.